problems away, and when they drink their problems away, they're keeping their emotions away, which they don't find happiness for a while, and then they can just keep going deeper and deeper. So don't ever, if you are ever drinking or doing drugs, don't ever do it to help you feel better. If you're gonna do that to help you feel better, don't do it at all. Try to do them at strong will when you're in good spirit. But even then, I still don't recommend them. You know, just Mary Jane. It's the only thing I would say is you know, something I would at least say. If you're gonna do something, do that. If you're gonna get some drugs in you, at least make sure it's Mary Jane. See what we do here. So in this case, he's gonna spend. He might save the hatchery, but he's gonna spend a lot doing it. So I gotta macro up.
Base is under attack.
We made sure that we focus fired the hatchery, since it was close enough to do. But he wasted a lot of lings for it.
Base is under attack.
Alright, now that he's seen a probe, if he makes a hatchery here, we'll be able to take it out.
Research complete. I am. I am here in the shadows. Base is under attack. I am here in the shadows. I am here in the shadows. Research complete. I am here in the shadows. Mineral
Oh, supply block. Oh, wait, what?
You require my skills. Very well. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted. Kassaw data. I am here in the shadows. I serve for for the reckoning. I am the heart of darkness. I am here in the shadows. I You require my cold. I am here in the shadow. Mineral field depleted. Your warriors have return to serve. I am here in the shadows. Base is under attack. I return to serve. Our duty. de Templar. My
I am the voice of the eclipse. Let our enemy know our fury.
Assault de Templar. We seek enlightenment. We are focused. Our minds are. We are the light of the house de Templar. I heed the call. We shall stand against the darkness. My charge. I will comply. Olak.
The enemy closes.
Assault de Templar. Mineral field depleted.
I am here in the shadow. Let our enemy know our fury.
In this, my charge.
Is the void. Hear me as you say.
Mineral field. Our mind. Mineral Mineral field depleted. Un Orakai. Mineral field depleted. Mineral field depleted.
I am here in the shadows.
Base is under attack. Your probes are under attack. Enlightenment. Mineral field. Genetic matrix.
Alright, we're gonna get some Colossus.
Direct my vengeance. Genetic matrix
move out in a sec.
All as one.
I serve.
Direct my vengeance.
Justice has come.
Me.
Kinala,
I am here.
Vespine Geyser exhausted.
we agree.
Vespine Geyser exhausted. I heal.
Side web established. Direct
There we go.
Un Orkai.
State thy bidding.
We await.
We shall stand against the darkness. We are unanimous.
G G G G G. Oregon.
The voice of the eclipse.
Mineral field depleted.
Oh, they can't walk through there. Oh, they're both stuck. Oh. Oh, damn. That was a interesting game. Sometimes you get this opportunity where they get too greedy and you could take their gases when they have like a two gas combo when they're right next to each other. It's the best time that you could actually snipe both gases. So if you ever see a probe around, don't let them take both your gases. Take one or hold one drone there, because this is what this is hurts a Zerg when you get too greedy, getting that early hatch, going for just drones, that you neglect the gases for a little bit, and usually what happens, they're like, oh, it's okay, I got a second base, I'll just take the gases from there and I'll be good to go, or I'll just need one gas anyways, so I'll take it out in a little bit. But I'll just drone up for the meantime, maybe take 3 hatcheries and then kind of come back, just get lings, and so there's like a way where they can come back out of this part. That's why the cannons are very important. If you say take their gases and you cannon rush them, that throws them off big time, because they can't use this as a plan B gas situation or macro behind it to kind of get back the gas that they don't have. Because Zergs can do things without gas. They don't really need gas, especially if they know how to play with queens and lings. Early game, they could macro without it, and but you can't macro without it if you can't get out of the base. I gotta hit the hay. Thanks Flo for entertainment, the chat for being classy, and everyone that comes to ride the stream. Hey, thank you so much, Tony. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, we wall it off. Keep them there. And you try to read all the income that they lost by checking up on everything that he's throwing at you. In this case, there was a lot of trickled lings, and that's already costly. It adds up, but they have no choice. They're keeping the hatchery and want the hatchery to be dead. I think the rally point was incorrect, but the rally point's over here, so I'm not sure what. I would keep them in the back and just go all at once. But desperation was the big part, because the time is what kept the hatchery from getting sniped. The Zerg didn't have enough time to wait. Lost 2 queens, and that was already a bad start. Losing 2 queens and produce so many lings to go do damage or kill this. The objective got taken out though. At least the objective is down. We could take a hatchery, 2 hatcheries. So that's the one thing about this play, is that they got the job done. Cost them a little more, but at least they can get a hatchery quicker than if I kept them blocked out. So a success on both sides in some sense, to turn it into a crazy weird game. So it's up to players to keep going with it and make something out of it. 2 players are on a weird tilt. Both of them have like a follow-up that they have to do. In this case, got to make 1 hatchery or 2 hatcheries. In this case, I need to make a nexus and transition. So we're both in like weird footings. So here I have 2 probes. I have this probe down here and this probe up here. I was thinking of doing a play in regards to going down here and not getting spotted, but I thought it was a little too risky this particular case because there was too many lings that were made after the cannon got taken out. So it was a bit risky, but I had to do it because there's 2 things that happen. One thing is, I doubt that the probe was going to be able to cancel this hatchery here, because I kind of assumed that they would take the hatchery here. It's more viable in this particular area, so I was kind of hesitant that this would be the spot anyway. So I was like, okay, let me go up there with this one. I might be seen, but hopefully not, and hopefully these lings are coming to my base to do the harass that they want to do, right? It's like, oh shoot, you killed my base, let me go over there and do some damage. Maybe he doesn't have the wall, maybe he does, hopefully he doesn't, but I gotta go check. So sometimes they do that. In this case, the lings kind of stayed out and said, nah, we're not gonna work, we're gonna just be cautious. So that we got caught with the probe. But it's a setup and a payoff where you send 1 sacrifice probe, and now what happens is they killed the probe, so there shouldn't be a second probe. We already killed this probe, so we denied it. Nobody knew that there was another probe, and this probe was kept here because it was in a better position. It was better at going around here to make a pylon cannon, but I thought the pylon cannon still was way too risky to throw away my best play. And my best play in this case was keep this probe here in case it made the hatchery, because it's the least visible area. This area, we got overlord pathings, we got hatchery potentials, but not sure. So by not seeing a hatchery here will allow me to know that it's here. But if he does make it here, then I can cannon rush this area, because the probe died. They don't expect another one. So it's this like multiple decision making to try to figure out which play is the best play for you. In this case, my best play was, if I get caught, they're gonna kill the probe. The probe is gonna be denied, so they're not gonna expect the second probe. But if it goes up, then my cannons will kill this hatchery, and then the other drone will go over here instead, and then I'll cannon rush this one while I keep macroing up. So it was either a 2-hatch snipe or a 1-hatch snipe. In this case, it's a 1-hatch snipe because they found this one. And by finding this one, just calls off the guards. Okay, we got him. He's dead. Let's do our build. We're good. We're not going to get attacked for a little while. So there goes the hatchery. There goes the probe. And in this situation, I went for a gateway play, Blink Stalkers, because of the way that the game went. The game went more in my favor to push the boundaries, and I love to push the boundaries. So because they made too many lings early, lost 2 queens, and then lost the hatchery, I felt like I wanted to go for the Blink play. I have like some weird strategies, ground strategies, but I have one that I like a lot, and it's kind of like the one you saw. It's like a Blink strategy with the follow-up of, just like a mixed comp. So in this case, I got the cannon right here in the back. The cannon in the back is because we don't want to make any cannons early on, but we also want to make sure this one's protected, because we really want to get this one if we could. So we got to make a delayed cannon that's gonna just, if the lings do catch them, it'll kind of just push them off a little bit. I'll pylon block or something, but I can get the other cannons up. So this is just a case the lings come and scout, like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Let me see if there's anything. You don't want to be like, oh shoot, I gotta start the cannons, because then you'll die. You'll lose this area. But if you already have a cannon up, it kind of keeps the lings from just hesitantly going over there. So we gotta make that, and then we go for the 7 square hatch snipe. Now that the 7 squares kicks in, we can make the cannons. We made a battery shield in the back just in case they really pound this area. We got a battery shield. So there goes this, and then we got sentries. The sentries were because we saw a lot of lings, or at least we saw an anticipated amount of lings, and I assumed that there would be more to it, because remember when all the lings killed the probe, I was like, oh, okay, maybe there's gonna be a decent amount of lings, enough to take this out if need be. So instead of, if it's a mass ling play, if I'll have sentries here to clog the choke and keep the lings from getting into the cannon section. So that's what the sentries were for in this particular moment. And so now we took that out. The queen was coming out. I force fielded, but it was already dead by the time I force fielded. So, yeah. All right. So now because I took that out, and I had got the sentries, I kind of got the sentries for 2 reasons. I didn't expect to put them exactly right here, but I did want to get early sentries to generate energy because I wanted to go for a force field storm, and you need some energy for that. So I kind of like decided, okay, well then I'll put it over here, force field this area, make sure he doesn't break in here, and if they survive, they survive. If they don't survive, I make 2 more, and then I go for the move out. So it was just a situation. So we got the Blink Stalker potential coming out. And the Blink Stalkers are just to poke around and harass. You can kind of run away versus Ling speed with the Blink. Just, you gotta be cautious. You gotta stay out of creep, and you gotta blink properly. If you don't know how to blink, you get caught off pretty badly. So you kind of have to like have like some blinking. My sister came home early from prom to watch this. Can you say hi? Hey Maddie, how's it going? And hope you had a great time at prom. That's awesome. Hope you did. Prom is always interesting. I didn't go to my prom, sadly, but I did go to somebody else's. Quite ironically, the only prom. This is weird, but it's not. I guess. Well, I don't. It is kind of weird. The prom that I went to, Maddie, was my other friend, my friend's sister. So my friend's sister didn't have anybody to go to prom with, or wanted to go with me. I can't remember which. I think she wanted to go with me. And then I said yes, because I didn't go to prom before. And I was like, well, I guess I could if you don't have, like, I don't know. I think she wanted to go with me. But it wasn't like, a relationship kind of thing. It was, I don't know. It was kind of, like I said, it was an interesting experience. So, and the reason why it was interesting is because the sister that wanted to go with me, you know what her brother's name was? I don't know if you guys can guess what his name was. Cobra? Oh shit, that's some tough ass name. Hey, thank you so much, Arcmeister. Chad. Pig. No. For what? Oh man, maybe I shouldn't have asked you guys to guess. Those names are horribly incorrect. They're way off tangent of a name. Pig? No. I don't even think Pig has a sister. Okay, so her brother's name was Florencio. It was in high school when I found out that there was a Florencio outside of my name. I was like, what? Somebody in this school is named Florencio? I'm the only Florencio. And I guess he also was like, what? There's another Florencio? Who is this Florencio? So, it was like one of those. So when we found out, I don't know which one of us found out which one, who Florencio was first, because we were both trying to figure out who is this Florencio, and we never had classes together, so we had to find each other at lunch sometime. But it wasn't at the same time; it was at different times. So I can't remember who knew who first. But yeah, so Florencio, the only person that I've ever met other than my dad, his sister wanted to go to prom with me, and I said okay because I'd never been to prom before. So I had to do all the prom things, and I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know how the. I had to go figure out how to get a suit, had to rent one, and then I had to figure out how prom works. I was like, well, I don't know what to do. Okay, get something right here. What is this? And then they would teach me at the vest place, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to prom, and they're like, oh, you need this for this, and so the family was cool. I was like, oh, hey, and once I got there, she was like on her own, and luckily I knew some people from like the other years. So I was like kicking it out with. I was like, cool. So we got there. She went to her friends, did all that thing, and I kind of just chilled with, people I recognized, because I didn't know. I didn't. But I liked it. It was at least I said I could. At least I went to prom. I think that was the main thing. I was like, it was an opportunity, and it was a weird one at the same time. And I said, hey, that'd be cool, interesting. So basically, I was a driver, and I was the. She didn't want to go alone, so it was like a not exactly a pity invite, but it was like, it's like I was a little popular back then, basketball player. I used to sing. I have her brother's name. Uh, so yeah, she asked me. I said okay, and she went out and had fun, and that was the more. I think that was, and I had an experience, so it was cool. So hope you had a great prom, Maddie. Mine's was definitely different, but it was prom. It's not especially fancy for my sister since she just going with her friends. Yeah, and that's okay because that's what she wanted to do. She just didn't want to go by herself. She didn't want to go by herself, and it's not easy to like go with somebody where you don't know who you want to go with, and who do I take. So it worked out. It worked out. I never went to prom, and she didn't have nobody to go to prom, and she asked, and I was always saying no to everybody. So for some reason, I just said, okay, you know what? Let's yeah, okay, let's go. So it was cool. Yep, and I treated her with respect, and her brother too. He was a good guy. He's a really good guy. So they kind of knew who I was and how I was. So it was a good experience overall. Have you ever played Magic cards? I haven't. My friend Doug Sluggins is really good at Magic. Doug Sluggins is really good at Magic. The Gathering, right? Magic the Gathering? Yeah. It's he plays strategic. He likes how I play the game in Starcraft, and he uses that same concept in his own way to the Magic the Gathering. He plays his own cards, he says. He has his own style. He stays away from the meta, he says. So, and he really likes it. And and that's the most important part, that you like what you're doing when you play the games. Yeah, Magic the Gathering. Yeah, I kind of learned a little bit because he plays, and then, I always want to kind of hang out whenever he streams, whenever I can, and you know, he kind of tells me a little bit about it, and I think it's way too complicated for me to grasp, so I just kind of hang out with them because there's so many cards and it all happens so quick, and it's got that boom, bam, psh, psh, and you're like, oh shit, so much going on. Um, so it definitely is something that you got to sit back and kind of ask, what is this? What is that? Read this, read that. So I haven't gotten the chance to understand that very well, but I know it's strategic. Yeah. What up, position? Okay, right here you gotta just kind of milk the clock, whittle down the army, make sure it's not over crazy, kind of scout a little bit, find out what's going on. So that's what I'm using the blink stalkers for. A solid invite, someone who would not made her look bad and who could trust not being an ass. Yeah, I was just like oh, what did they this like they said I was like too good to be true. For one, I always said the girls always be like, "How come you don't have a girlfriend?" I don't know. I never thought about having a girlfriend. I always was jumping around roofs, kicking it with friends, playing football, and all that stuff. So that was like what I got a lot. But a lot of it's because I didn't curse. You know, I actually had the Bible. Most was it all 4 years, 3 years? I think 3 years of my high school. I would carry the Bible during. Well, I just read it all the time because I would love the stories and understand the wisdom, and it was just something very I don't know. I've read the Bible like so many times. I can't even back forth, inside and out. So I was always like in this like good spirited, mentality. I was always reading good things and good, inspirational messages and stuff through it. And so they always knew what kind of person I was, that I was just like a happy go lucky guy, just very to myself, but at the same time, very people person. And I had a really good reputation. So, and I beat all their asses in. I beat all their asses in limbo, so they had respect. So yeah, I had where was it? I'll show you right here. I'll show you right here. Let's see, where's it at? Right here. That's right, baby. I whooped all their asses. We had this like limbo event where like at the last year of graduation, they had this like competition fun game for all the students in your class. And yeah, we had all kinds of games, and then the limbo came out. And I even went over there on my vacay because it was vacay, and it was like track A, B, and C, but only B and C were in session. So because I was on vacation at the time, I went over there anyways. I was like, well, I'm in it too. Just because I'm on vacay doesn't mean I can't go over there and have fun. So yeah, I went over there. That's why I was wearing like my Eagles shirt, and I was wearing some sweats. I was on vacay. So I went over there. Everybody was invited, and we were doing the limbo, and man, so many. I was surprised how many people did in limbo very often, or not very often, but very good. But since I was like very sporty and flexible and doing all kinds of troublemaker stuff, jumping on roofs, rollerblading, all the things that kids love to do, um, I was very adventurous. Jumping off roofs, backwards, front flips on couches. Very. I'm surprised I didn't break a bone, but yeah. So there was like less and less people at a time as it kept falling, and I think there was like three more levels when everybody got wiped out. Everybody got wiped out like on the third level up from the bottom, and I won. And so I was like, awesome. But then my the students, my fellow classmates were like, until it falls or until you fall or something like that. They wanted to see my downbringing. They wanted to sewer mermaid. They wanted to see sewer mermaid fall. So they said until you fall, uh, and so I did it again. And then they're like, oh shit. And then I did it one more, and they were like, what? And then the last one, there was no more. There was no more sets. There was this one right here was the very last one, and boy, that was low. At least for me, it was low. I had to actually strategize uh, how to do it because the balance of how low it is and how you are, I couldn't step right the way you needed to, or else you would fall. So I utilized my side feet to keep the balance. It, yep, I straight used my ankle muscles in order to make this one work. So I don't know. I had a really good reputation. I sang for everybody. I sang for my class graduation. I used to sing in the chorus. Um, Played basketball. I was in the jazz band. I was in, you know, I knew all the track people, football players and stuff, all the stoners, you know, all the, you know, the loners. I was just very, I would always just say hi to everybody. That was just what I was. Just a person that was just enjoying more of the adventure. My education, it was okay, but it was, I guess, being around so many people, hanging out, and just, I think that was my favorite. So it worked for me. Yeah, that my ankles got a tore beating. It wasn't that bad actually. It wasn't that bad. I thought it would have been worse, but it's not as painful as it looked. Not as painful as it looked. Alright, so this one right here. Wait, your school had a budget limbo? Two staff members holding. Oh, one's always a little lower than the other one. The limbo stick moves. It's like, nah, you moved it. It moved. I was right there. I saw it and you moved it. You know? It's like, that is a low budget. That always happened. There's always somebody that just had it just moved a little too low. It's like it takes skill to be one of those people to control that. Has real budget. That's wrong. That is so wrong. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You got some limbos. You got some limbo fun. Oh man. All right, so the I made a Colossus. The reason why I made a Colossus is to force out a focus reaction. So they see a Colossus. Oh, okay, this is you know, wherever there are, if they're right here, at least now they're gonna be over here, and I want their vision to be off-centered where I want to attack. So that's the whole reason why I decided to kind of like. But I did want to go over here. I tried to get the Colossus over on this side because I wanted the action to be over here. But yeah, they caught me in between, so I pulled back so that I can get the action to go over here. Because I wanted to go over here and now right here I should have hotkeyed the sentries ahead of time because I kind of lagged it because the overlords were in front of me. I was like, wait, where were the sentries? I had to double click them, but I think I should hotkey them for sure. But yeah, so what I do here is I force field the mineral line, and when you force field them, they can't just leave because if they even go this way, they're gonna go through here because the force fields look like they can go that way. It's not like a complete stop for them. It's more like, oh, I think you can go over here, but I'm not sure. It's getting stuck. So the force fields definitely derp the drones from getting out properly. It's not a complete wall. It's a fake illusion wall for them, so they get derped out. So now that I shut down all the doors, the only door is right here. Just storm right in the front. Just saddle them up. So just kind of gets the job done. If not, they run away and your storm just doesn't go very good. So I like to force field storms. So okay, that job's done, right? The objective, I got a lot of drones killed, so we move on. If we could save it, we could save it, but we did a job done, so now we transition. So we got our stalkers, we got the immortals for the roaches, we got the storm for the hydras and the lings, and we're going for colossus too for the hydras. Now we gotta expand as well too. So we gotta expand and move out. A little, teamwork. Okay, so the storm is gonna be really good. So I usually don't get upgrades very often in return to storm because I always feel like in a lot of my playstyles to transition to upgrades from this upgrade from ground to from ground to air. Sometimes I change things so much that I don't stay in ground too long or I don't stay in air too long. So I don't stay long enough to really know if I really want to get the upgrades. And by going upgrades, it forces me to go towards that route because I already got upgrades. Why do I want to get upgrades and I not get the ground units? So I got to get ground units. It kind of forces your hand, you force yourself in that sense. Where when I don't get upgrades, at least in Protoss perspective, I use Storm, and Storm is really good. It's kind of like if I storm a good army, the damage that they put out is the damage they can't hit me if I didn't have Storm and I had upgrades. So the damage that I take that I put onto them with Storm is like an upgrade for them in general because they die quicker, which means they get shot less. If they get shot less and they die quicker, it's like if this army had upgrades. It's not a full every game, it's not a every moment upgrade, but it's an upgrade in areas where you really need it, and it helps you divert to use your gas in other, ways. That's so in this case, Storm is my way. So as much as I killed right there with all the clumps and stuff, the upgrades on these stalkers would not be as an impact as the storms did in this case. If I had upgrades, it would be okay, but I'd probably lose more because of the mass of army that it is, and upgrades can only go so far with certain units. I always believe in win ahead, get more ahead. So I don't like to get a good advantage and just go right in and maybe get killed because, could maybe this is the moment where they get enough to combat this and then you lose all this. And now you're like, oh, well, what do I got? I only have this now. But when you have this and this together and then you get another group, it starts becoming a harder challenge for our opponent that is got weakened by a base. So win ahead, get more ahead is my biggest practice in these. But I just don't stay stagnant in the same composition. My composition in the game is to try to be well-rounded. So, get my fleet beacon so I get my mothership, get my Tempest since I got a fleet beacon, get my Storm, my Colossus, and my Robo, my Immortals because I have the robotics. So I keep my composition very colorful. So in this case, if he's gonna take a base, he's gonna take one of these bases, and I'll be ready for it. But I'm waiting for my mothership, and while I get the mothership, I'm getting my Colossus and my Tempest because I need a rich composition. And now my mothership, I was gonna send 3. Notice how my stalkers were over here. They were gonna check if there's any overlords, so that my mothership can go hide all the way over here and recall here. But the problem was that I saw corruptors right here with this attack. And when I saw corruptors, I said, oh no, you know what? There's a chance that maybe I'll get my mothership caught off in a bad spot and get taken out. Or I have, I don't get that play. So because of those corruptors, I decided to fold back on the check for the overlords and hide my mothership all the way through. I said, you know what, let's just go front to the front. And that was the moment right there where you see the mothership going that way and I said, nope, let's go this way. So that's what I did right there. I was going to go for a different play, but I reacted And then right here, this bad position for the Zerg. Again, the storms. The mothership, it's kind of like a meat shield. Look, when you ever get a mothership, I always tell people, like, don't forget the mothership. Don't forget the mothership, because the mothership is cloaking everything. So what that means is that the mothership is gonna be wanted to be taken out. It takes a little while to kill the mothership. The time that it takes to kill a mothership gives you enough time for that DPS of the army to kill whatever he has, where it kind of goes into your favor even if you're not cloaked. So even if you're not cloaked afterwards, the time that it took them to kill that mothership and the time that you did the damage during that period of time kind of turns the fight in your favor anyways. So don't always be worried about losing the mothership. If you could keep it from dying, then great. But if you know that it's going to be a meat shield purpose, just let it go. Strategize your position. Expect the mothership to die, and then, grab him by the bull horns. Yeah. GG.